People in the comments are coming and telling me that I am an Arab. I am an Arab invader, and I'm not a real Egyptian. Well, let me
Egyptian government come out and speak about this.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't laugh, but it's quite funny.
This is the final battle, and today we're gonna be discussing the Egyptians' last stand. The first thing I wanna point out to these knuckleheads is the modern word slave come from the word Slav. During the Middle Ages, most slaves in Europe and the Islamic world were people from the Slavic Eastern European. It was only in the 15th century that slavery became linked to people from sub-Saharan Africa. So the moral of the story, over 200,000 years, y'all was inferior Niagara dolls. So peep how this ignorant African black girl makes this video because she's from Egypt, not even knowing that they phasing her out too. They saying that she's not even an Egyptian. Now look how dumb she looks.
You know what I find absolutely hilarious? When an American raised in America, whose culture is American, tries to Afri-explain Africa to an African. Yet, if I asked you to name me 5 countries in Africa, you probably can't, but you'll be the first one to claim a continent about which you have no idea. You probably don't even understand your own history or where your ancestors came from. You probably can't tell me much about the transatlantic trade now, can you? Or which countries were involved in it. But you'll be the first one to gatekeep African culture from people who don't look like me, which makes you a racist. Plain and simple. How about less claiming, more learning? That's how you embrace a culture. You learn about it. You don't claim it. Africa does not belong to you. We are not a color. We are not colors. No one is a color.
Didn't the Egyptian government come out and speak about this?
Yeah, I know I shouldn't laugh, but it's quite funny. I think it's quite funny.
You know what's quite funny? Your movie Queen Cleopatra appears to have the worst audience score not just on Netflix but in TV history, with a 2% score on Rotten Tomatoes as of Tuesday afternoon.
The level of threat that you must feel just on my skin tone, it's 100% fundamentally rooted in racism, which is a very modern ideology.
Drop the racism card. It really shows your ignorance. It's not about your skin tone. If you're gonna make a documentary about Cleopatra, we need an accurate representation. We need her to look Greek because she was Greek, not black.
It's really bizarre, but to me, I find it very sad. I feel sad for them.
And I find it very bizarre not studying history in school, or at least Googling the historical character you're playing.
Again, for fatherless hoteps, ancient Egyptians depicted men in brick red color while women were depicted by light color or even white, and that had nothing to your black color. And many civilizations, especially in the Mediterranean, depicted their men and women the same depictions as ancient Egyptians did. While black sub-Saharans were depicted by very clear black color with completely different features from Egyptians. So your photoshops in Egyptian artifacts either by changing features or making them more dark will never work. Again, fatherless hoteps. Egyptians never left their land or packed in ships through the Atlantic like yours. Treat your inferiority complex and identity crisis away from Egypt. Africa is just a massive, According to afrocentrics, the whole world is black.
Now we know the ancient Egyptians were black people.
In Turkey, the Turks are black.
The original Greeks were black.
My Native Americans, you're black. Everybody comes from black people.
Even the original Chinese and the Ainu of Japan were Africans.
And if there is life outside, it's gonna be black.
Okay, so this is the type of memes that they are putting out. They're trying to say, the black ancestors is to the right and that's them to the left. And they're trying to claim that they are the brown-skinned people. So all black people are just black and they're not brown and tan. And they are tan when they're really, I don't know. But this is the type of memes they're putting out.
I'm an Arab invader and I'm not a real Egyptian. Well, let me tell you something. You have some nerve calling me an outsider and trying to teach me about my history, a girl that was born and raised in between all of this great civilization, temples, going to museums since I was 5. Have you ever been to a museum in your life? I bet they never opened the history book in their lives. History is all around us. We're raised with it. We learn about it from everywhere, you know, from shows, from TV. We're taught about it in schools, like in first grade. It's our history.
To give that up and say that that was a part of Black Africa, then they will also have to give up Israel. And that's why they draw the line at Egypt, because if they give up Egypt, they've got to give up Israel.
Now, we're going to go over here. In Hebrew, it says Haluach Afrikani, the African plate. Here it is right here. Israel is sitting right here. Israel is sitting on the Haluach Afrikani, which means that Israel is northeast.
So that's gonna about wrap it up for the Egyptians' last stand. And my personal opinion is they coming with a lot of pseudo work, pseudo material, a lot of racial ranting, and a lot of proclaiming and not dealing with facts. They dealing with a lot of Photoshop images where they tearing in the images and posting them back together and saying this and saying that. But anyway, make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment. This is the final battle.